last several weeks, the water temperatures have been hovering right around the 33 or 34 degree mark. We've had a little bit of a rise here recently, but you know, with the water temps that cool, I went looking for smaller baits, and where I'm looking right now is on the Caney Creek Mold site. I want to play around with some smaller profiles, and to do that I'm going to the a section that I wouldn't normally go to. I'm going to the crappie or the panfish molds, and this is the mold that I just ordered. I got it in yesterday. This is the Stinger What's-It. It's 2.5 inches, and I'm going to go out this evening and pour this for the first time. That's what we're going to be shooting. I actually got the laminating plate for this so I can do two-tone. I'm not going to need a whole lot because these are such small baits. I got this pearl powder here. This is good stuff to make it nice and shiny. Orange flake. That's a nice minnow looking color. Let's see what other colors we can play around with. I like this one in the back. Gold Smoke Pearl. I'm also going to add a couple drops of this stuff right here. A little bit of scent so that when they grab the bait, they'll know they've got the real deal. Now, this is where I shoot most of the, a lot of the baits that Confidence Baits, my company, sells, and a lot of people do start small businesses using these molds, but I would say that you don't really need to have the idea of starting a small business to really be someone who gets into injecting. Especially if you have a mold that or a type of lure that you really like. It's a great thing to get into because you can make custom colors that no one else is going to have to give you that competitive advantage. And it's just a lot of fun to tinker around with. You know, you get an idea in terms of a specific color that you want to match the local forage, and you can go home, you know, after taking a picture of it and really match the color exactly. All right, I shot a bunch like this in a little bit of no time, and this mold will shoot 12 at a time, so it doesn't take you long to get a bunch of one color. And right now I'm moving on to a different one. Not sure what I'm doing here. I'm just playing around with that's a Confidence Baits color called Blueberry. Just curious what that would look like in here. I'll shoot a couple different colors tonight, and then this weekend I'll give them a shot. Getting ready to launch the kayak here in a few minutes, but before we head out there, I wanted to show you some of the tinkering I've been doing earlier this week. Got a new mold from Caney Creek that makes these little baits, these little 2.5 inch little minnow profiles. I got this sort of amber with gold that I made. Did a real dark blue one. Just played around, made some different colors. Had a lot of fun playing with that new mold. Also played with my some of my do-it molds. I made some to fish this rig. I actually have 3 different ways to rig it. I'll start with the floating jig. This one I used a walleye jig mold, and I've used an Owner 5318 hook there. Real nice fine wire hook, real sticky sucker, and I'm going to put that under a bobber and just float that through some of these holes I know have some real nice smallmouth. Next one here, this is the drop shot rig, and this little weight here is great for fishing the rivers. It's a finesse drop shot weight, and again, I got the mold for doing that, the do-it mold, and I'm using a Matsuo Sickle Octopus hook as my drop shot hook. And in the best way to hold on to these baits is by putting that little do-it hitching post in, and I'll just screw that all the way in. That way when the hook goes into the nose of it, really holds on to that bait very well. And the last way that I'm going to rig them and fish them is on bottom. Yeah, I got 2 different middle of the water column presentations, one a little bit off the bottom and one at whatever level I set underneath the bobber. but this one always works in winter. You know, using that 1/8 ounce Confidence Baits Dragon Head. I've got the little 2.5 inch What's-It little soft jerk bait on this rod here, down below me, below a bobber, and up here I'm fishing a jig, well, a crayfish profile. It's a Caney Creek craw, another one that I injected. I think people get into the whole Tacklecraft thing just as a creative outlet. I know that, you know, people enjoy looking forward to their time on the water, and certainly tinkering and making stuff yourself and having ideas about what you think they're gonna bite, and having ideas that are beyond what you can just, you know, go to a tackle shop and look at what's on the shelf. I don't know, it really extends the enjoyment of fishing. I finally got one on the floating jig. I looked over and I saw my rod kind of twitching a little bit. I got myself a little fall fish here. I thought I saw him hitting the surface earlier. Yeah, it's not a smallmouth, but that's a start. Another fall fish. All right. Ah, that's a good one. That's what we came out for. I switched from the What's-It to, I got a Caney Creek craw, the crayfish profile. Got the first smallmouth of the day here. I don't think I'm gonna lift you up and in. Like that. All right, there we go. That felt good to get that thunk. It's another bait that I was tinkering around with earlier in the week, and I'm glad I did. Real crisp hit. This one, this Caney Creek craw here, sat for probably 15 seconds, which isn't real long for winter. Sometimes I'll let them sit for minutes at a time. That's the bait I got them on, Caney Creek craw. I actually injected it with a rattle inside. I just put the rattle in the chamber and went ahead and shot the bait and put it on a 1/4 ounce Dragon Head. I got the first one of the day. They have such beautiful markings. All right, let's get them back in. This river was locked up in ice about 10 days ago, and it's been gradually warming up to the 37 degrees that it is today. And I can definitely see the scarring on the trees from where that ice broke free. Well, I only got one bass today, but I can't be too disappointed because it's only been about a week since there was ice locked up on this river. And I got it on something that I made myself, and it was the first bass that I've caught on this new mold, so I'm pretty pleased. I got some ideas of how to change how I'm shooting these baits. I know that the rattle came out in 2 of them, so I'm gonna tinker around with maybe turning that thing sideways instead of straight up and down. But you know, all in all, pretty good winter day. Time to head home.